What had you done when you were little? For example, I had grinded club penguin every day after school, and I had received 10 detentions. However, what had you done? Well, I don't really know what you've done because you can't say that yet until you learn a pluscuamperfecto, the pluperfect tense, or the past perfect tense, which is basically the had tense. So Dwayne here is saying I had finished, or something like you had done. However, it's not something like tuve acabado or tenía acabado. It's not tenías asido. Nothing like that. You use a different verb, haber. And if you watch my video on the present perfect tense, you'll have a much better understanding of this. I'd recommend you go watch that first if you have not talked about that. Okay, so according to Harry Potter, not even magic can stop your overuse of past perfect verbs. Am I right? Okay, so now let's get into the conjugations. It's very, very simple, this tense. Very, very easy to learn. Basically, it's just haber and the imperfect conjugation of it. So it'd be yo había, tú habías, él había, nosotros habíamos, vosotros habíais, and ellos habían. That's literally it. However, following the word haber, the next verb that comes after it, it's not the infinitive, it's not conjugated. It really depends on if the ending is AR, ER, IR, what you do. So if it ends in an AR ending, basically take the infinitive of an AR verb, remove it, and replace it with auto. So, había acabado, I had finished. Then for ER, verbs, you take the infinitive of it, replace it with ido. So, for example, había comido, I had ate. Había comido, yeah, I had ate already. Something just like that. So here's some example participles, which are basically just the auto or ido part of it. So, comido, hablado, usado, duchado, cepillado, probado, pasado. And then some verbs you wouldn't expect to be regular participle verbs. We haven't gotten into the irregulars yet. Ser, sido, estar, saber, seguir, conocer, conocido. You hear that one a lot. Caber, dejar, ir, also ido. It's not regular. Tener and dar. Okay, so let's go into the irregular verbs, which is I had this slide up on my perfect video, my present perfect. So if you memorize that, then I guess you can skip it. So the main irregular verbs, you have hacer, which is hecho, escribir, escrito, abrir, abierto, cubrir, cubierto, morir, muerto, decir, dicho, ver, visto, poner, puesto, romper, roto, volver, vuelto, freír, frito. And there's a better list up here, like maybe you can copy and print that or something. However, also verbs that contain other verbs inside of them. So, for example, predecir is predicho. It's not predecido. Since decir is dicho and predicho. So, for example, rehacer, to redo. It's not rehacido, it's rehecho, because it has hacer inside of it. So yeah, deshacer, deshecho, satisfacer. This one is kind of similar pronunciation to hacer, like hacer, satisfacer, so it's satisfecho. Descubrir has cubrir, descubierto, and same with resolver and devolver. Okay, so now I'm going to go to some example sentences. Carlos había salido ya cuando María vino. Carlos had already left when Maria came. So there's the had and then the participle. Habíamos hecho muchas actividades cuando estábamos en Puerto Rico. We had done a lot of activities when we were in Puerto Rico. Yeah. Habían terminado hacer ejercicio temprano porque Jeff había recibido un dolorcito en su estómago. They had finished exercising early because Jeff had received a little pain in his stomach. Hopefully not the coronavirus. Okay, so next is the subjunctive pluscuamperfecto. That's a weird way to say it, but that's also just the past subjunctive, or the imperfect subjunctive. And this is what haber would be in it. I'm not going to go into it. I'm going to have another video on that in the future. However, if you're just wondering, there you go. So here's some indicator words, which are basically just all the imperfect words, because it's essentially just the imperfect version of haber. So antes de, después de, luego, siempre, a veces, a menudo, con frecuencia, de niño, when I was younger. And you should probably know all of these by now. So for example, antes de fui a la escuela, había estado haciendo mi tarea. So before I left for school, I had been doing my homework. De niño siempre había puesto mis cosas en la basura, pero ahora las pongo en el reciclaje. When I was little, I always put my stuff in the garbage, but now I put them in the recycling bin. Okay, so last slide. Okay, so I'm going to explain the difference between haber and then using estado after it. So essentially, this is kind of just been. So I had been, and then the verb, like I had been doing my homework, or I had done my homework, something like that. So putting the estado and not can completely change the idea of a sentence. So let me just show you some examples of that. Habíamos estado viviendo allí por un año cuando comenzó la guerra. We had been living there for a year when the war started. So in the story, they currently were living there when the war started. However, for this one, it shouldn't be hemos, it should be habíamos, my bad. Habíamos vivido allí por un año cuando comenzó la guerra. So we had lived there for a year when the war started. So when the war started, they had already lived there for a year. It's done. Finito. Okay, next, había estado yendo a tu casa cada día. I had been going to your house every day. Then había ido a tu casa cada día. I had gone to your house every day. So like every single day you've gone to the person's house. So for this one, it's kind of like you assume more like recently they've been going to your house every day. No habían estado mirando la película. And no habían mirado la película. So they had not watched the movie or they had not been watching. So like they're seeing it right now and they're not paying attention versus they've never seen the movie. Ella había estado diciendo eso. Ella había dicho eso. She had been saying this or she had said this. So like currently while she's talking or she had said this. One thing just to add on is also estado can also just be by itself. It doesn't have to have a verb after it. So había estado en los Estados Unidos por 3 meses. I had been in the US for 3 months. Okay, so yeah, pretty much flew in K-guai. That's the pluscuamperfecto.